Hi, hello, how are you? Welcome back or welcome to my YouTube channel. My name's Addie, and in today's video or podcast episode, shall I say, well, we're gonna be kind of doing an introductory get to know me, get to know you. I don't know. We're just gonna be talking about my life right now and what I'm doing and what I'm reading, what I'm writing, all of this kind of stuff. So basically, I've only posted a couple videos here on YouTube, and this video is a new idea that I wanted to start a podcast. So, guess what I'm doing? I'm starting a podcast. Did I get this idea today? Did I start doing everything for this today? Yes. Am I that impulsive? Yes. But anyways, so this is the very first podcast episode of How to Read and Write chapter by chapter. So, oh, the lights just flickered. And we're like, no. So we aren't down in my room, if you can tell. We are on the main floor of my house. So if you hear dogs barking in the background, if you hear, like you can... I'm gonna scream if they don't shut up in about 5 seconds. Anyways, you're gonna be able to hear my dogs barking, stuff happening. It's just the way it is because my room is a mess right now, and I don't feel like putting up my bed to get you a pretty new backdrop that I have because I made a book wall. I made it a couple weeks ago, actually, but you guys haven't seen it. So, yeah, keep out for the next podcast episode, which I'll probably film next week or something when I get an idea for it. But yeah, that's going to be the most likely podcast background that we're going to chill with for a little bit. But this first podcast background, you're just getting my first floor of my house. So, there you go. But really quickly, God, why am I this weird? Really quickly, I just wanted to, actually, not really quickly, this is the whole point of this episode, me just yapping. Basically, the title of this podcast is what it is. It's not really a how-to, it's just how I write and read, how me and my friends write and read. By the way, Kaya may make it onto this podcast in next episode. She just couldn't come over today and film this episode with me. So we're probably going to be doing most episodes together. But she couldn't make it for today's episode. So we're doing this all by myself. You just get me for this first podcast episode. Next podcast episode, we will have Kaya over and we will be filming that. So y'all will have a little bit more juicy topics, more conversations really, than what I'm just going to be having with you today. This is a really long intro part, but basically let's just get into what I wanted to talk about today. And what I wanted to talk about is what I'm writing and what I'm reading. So right now, let's start with reading first, because I haven't really read much this past week, but I've been reading All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Don't mind my beat up copy from the library. This is what I've been reading. I've been reading the Natural series and I've been obsessed with it. I am so in love with the characters in this story, with the idea of how it's like plotted. First book is my favorite. The Naturals, hands down my favorite. Killer Instinct was good, The plot twist at the end, however, wasn't my favorite. Not my favorite. The first Naturals, that shit was top tier. That shit was top tier. I may have to go back and rate that a 4.5 star because it was so close to a 5. But anyways, I've been reading All In, and I'm only on chapter 12, and it's actually pretty good so far. It's like, I don't know how to explain it other than it's like Criminal Minds. It's like Criminal Minds, but in the fact that it follows each book as a case, but it's not like Criminal Minds in the fact that they're teenagers who are working these cases, and they just got allowed to work on actual FBI cases and not cold cases, because they were in the first book, they were working on cold cases, and then it happened to link into this one person's, or the main character's, like, mom's case, and so it just happened to link all of this linked together, and so they ended up working on it together with the FBI, because the FBI was like, we don't want you guys getting involved in this, and then the person that was doing it was like, oh, well, fuck, they're joining. Fuck no, you say they aren't. You're gonna add them to the case. You're gonna let them work it. Work it, bitch. That's going on the internet for everyone to see, and my friends are gonna make fun of me for that, but it is what it is. Anyways, so that's what I've currently been reading, and what was I going on about? I don't know. I don't really remember anymore. But, oh my god, this podcast, this episode, this me is just really odd, and I'm sorry for that. My condolences, but you're the one that decided to watch me do this. So, yeah, you're the one that clicked on the video, not my fault. Sorry. But anyways, hold on. Let me grab my drink really quick. For the drink of the day, we have water, obviously. And then we have, Alani Nu in Watermelon Wave. It's actually pretty good. Second favorite, Alani. Peach. All-time favorite. All-time favorite. This is how much I've drank. So, yeah. Now that we've kind of talked about what I'm reading at the moment, let's get into what I'm writing. Because I may have recently come up with a new book idea just this past weekend. This past Friday. It is currently Monday. And we have school off because it's Easter weekend. And so it's a brand new idea. Say hi to Essie in the background. Brand new idea, but I've already set up a lot of it. I've already started planning, and so basically, let's just get into what I've been doing. So, yeah. Let me pull up my computer here. But basically, so the idea behind the book, let me make some room, is it's a dark romance. So it's a dark romance with, it's not dark in the fact that most dark romances are dark. It doesn't have dub-con, it doesn't have non-con, because I do not personally like those things in dark romance books. I don't like those things in romance books in general. So it doesn't have non-con, doesn't have dub-con, But it is dark in the fact that the spicy scenes that I'm planning in it are gonna be dark. And the fact that I don't know what it is, what I'm trying to say, what the word is. The fact that the topics, the plot, the characters are all dark. So basically, it is also like, I also have this whip or other book that I'm trying to write that is called A Sea Set on Fire. This book is called White Strings. That's the tentative name so far, so it's Project Strings. Okay. We're gonna... Are we done? No. But anyway. Let me go shut him up really quick. The dogs have been quieted. He was barking at someone walking outside. But anyways. That was a lot. I'm still a little bit sick. I still have a cough from when I got sick a couple weeks ago. I'm fine now. I just have a residual cough that's happening. So that's why I may be coughing here and there throughout this video. But anyways, so let's get back to this book. I currently have Project Strings and Project Sea on Fire, which Strings is this one, this new book. Project Sea on Fire is A Sea Set on Fire. And basically the problem is I've started planning out when I'm supposed to get stuff done for this book, for Project Strings. I've planned everything out on like the rough planning, the like all the goals that I have to reach for this book. I have it all planned out on NaNoWriMo. But the thing is, I also want to be writing a Project C. And then I also have Project Broken, which is a YA fantasy series trilogy. And then it's three separate trilogies, but one's a prequel trilogy, one's the trilogy, and then one's a sequel trilogy, all happening in the same world. And then there's novellas and a prequel book to the original series. So those two projects, Project Broken and Project Sea on Fire, I'm thinking are going to be put on the back burner. Because I've had the idea for Project Broken in my head forever, and I just haven't... It's not right. I can't get it down on a paper, and I think I've been denying myself the fact that I can't get it down on paper. I can't get what... I know the story. I know what's happening in the story. I just can't plan it out, and I can't get the words right. I can't get it how I want it. So I'm thinking that Project Broken is going on the back burner, because I think Project Broken needs to just sit and be out of my mind until I'm done writing Project C and Project Strings, because Project Broken is so different than Project C and Project Strings, because Project C and Project Strings are kind of similar in the fact that they are why choose romance. One is fantasy, one is dark romance. Evie, get out of here. Can you just take that charger upstairs, please? Because I'm filming it. I'm filming the podcast!
Just sit somewhere where it can't see me.
Go into the front room.
No.
No, kid, you can see everything in this room. Sit right there.
That's what I was doing.
Siblings, I tell ya.
Womp womp.
Anyways, so I'm thinking that because two of my projects, all three of these projects are like Project Broken and Project C are kind of similar in the fact that they're both fantasy. Project C, however, is a standalone. Project Broken is a whole universe in itself. And then Project Strings is an entirely different side of the spectrum, to where it's something that I've never written before. It's something that I've never planned before. And I think that's something that makes me want to write it so much, in the fact that I wanted it to be different than what I've read. And what I've read in the dark romance genre has just been not what I want out of it. So I want to write something to where it's what I want to read in that genre, if that makes sense. But basically, I'm thinking that Project Broken has to go on the back burner while I write Project Strings, and maybe while I work on here and there, with no deadlines, no nothing, on Project Sea on Fire. Sea on Fire, I know what the story is. I know what's happening. I don't know if I can do it in this standalone. That's my only fear. But I also want it to be a standalone because I don't want to have to... Because I want it to be a thick book. I want it to be long. I want it to be enjoyable. I want it to be... I read Atonement of the Spine Cleaver. Amazing book. Amazing book. I want it to be that, but I want it to be... I don't want it to be like Atonement of the Spine Cleaver. I just want it to be like I want it to be a thick book, basically, is what I'm saying. I want it to be like Priory of the Orange Tree, but without the prequel. Does that make sense? I feel like that makes sense more than what I was trying to do with Atonement of the Spine Cleaver, because Atonement of the Spine Cleaver is a series that doesn't have any books out yet. I don't know why I thought that would be a good anagram? Anecdote? I don't know. Words don't work for me most of the time. But basically, Project Broken is going on the back burner. Project Strings will get written when it gets written. And Project C, not Strings. Strings is my current project. Project C, it will get written whenever it gets written. Project Strings, however, I have set deadlines for it, and I have set what I want done. When and how, I guess. How many words I want. Like, it's going to be 120K. So, like a normal sized book, but it's split into 6 different mini books. And then there's going to be... Don't you love the dogs just play fighting in the background of this video? Anyways, Project Strings has set deadlines that I have, and it's going to The fourth draft, it's tentatively set to end in, hold on, let me see, December of 2028. So yeah, the dogs are going crazy. Anyways, it's tentatively set then because December 2028, I would be working on this book for 3 years while finishing high school, which honestly, okay, sounds weird that I'm a high school student, I'm writing a dark romance, reading romance stuff. I'm old enough to. I don't give a shit what you care about it. Like, tell me I'm not allowed to read whatever I want to read until I'm 18. But I'm gonna read whatever I'm gonna read, and that's just my personality, and I'm gonna write whatever I feel like fucking writing. So anyone who says that I can't, y'all can fuck off. Anyways, I'm going to be writing this book while I'm finishing high school and during my first 2 years of university. So, and I'm only planning on 4 years of university because I want to be a teacher. So, I want to be a teacher. I want to be an English science teacher. Mainly English. I would like some science in there. I do love science, but I am not that amazing at it. I do love it, though. However, English, my favorite subject, my best subject. If I wasn't in the AP curriculum, I would be getting 90s. In the AP curriculum, I'm at an average of 70, 75-ish. So, almost 80. 1 year, I think, was it last year or was it this year? I can't remember what year it was. I was at like 79 for a good long while of the semester. So, yeah. And basically, that's my plan. So, in December of 2028, when the fourth draft of this book is going to be finished, and like I'm going to write this first draft, and then no one's seeing the first draft. No one at all is seeing the first draft. Second draft, I read the second draft. Then I will wait 2 months. Like, I'm gonna wait 2 months in between each draft, because if you haven't watched Kate Kavanaugh Writes, go watch her. Amazing. Love her. Been obsessed with her videos lately. But when she writes her books, she does a 2-month gap in between each draft. And so I kind of like that idea. I kind of like that idea of not pushing myself to automatically start the next draft. Giving myself a little bit of break time in between each draft to step away from the story, not think about it for those 2 months, and let my friends read it over those 2 months, get the feedback from my friends, get all these little notes in the margins that they have for me, go into my third draft, and then think, okay, I know their opinions on these. What can I do to make this a 5-star read for them? What star is it currently at? It's only a second draft. It's not going to be that good. I know this. Okay? How many more words do I need to put into the story? And how am I going to make those words fit properly? And how am I going to make those words that I wrote in the second draft even better? basically that's pretty much what the drafting process is. Why did I just explain the drafting process? Anyway, so I kind of, in this last couple of, like, minutes, because I kind of want this to be around 30-ish minutes, not too long, 20 to 30 minutes. I've already gone over 20, so we're just making it 30 this episode. Anyways, what I wanted to finally talk about is I kind of wanted to mention my writing process, like how I'm going about writing this book, because I've worked on other projects before. I've worked on Project Broken. I tried writing that so badly. I've tried planning it in depth. I cannot get through the planning process on that. So how can I do this? So I'm thinking, and then what am I saying? And then I went into Project Sea on Fire, and then I just went in and I started writing it. And I loved writing it. I got 10 chapters out, but those chapters were so short. And I wanted long chapters. I wanted it to be Sarah J. Maas level long chapters. And I wanted it to be pining, and I wanted it to be like something that I would enjoy reading. And it just wasn't that. And so then I went into, and then I hit a writer's block on it, and then I was like, well, now what do I do? Because I know where this story is going. I just don't know how to write it well. And then I got into writer's block. And then I just didn't write anything. I haven't written anything for months until this project. And then I got this project idea. And then I was like, oh my god. Immediately, I wrote a song. I wrote this song called White Strings. The tentative name for the book. I wrote this song, White Strings. It's not a good song. Hate to break it to you. Not a good song, Addie. It's not, no one's singing that song except for me and my friends and my family. Or my sister. My sister sees every song that I write. Most of my family doesn't. But basically, I got the idea for it because I was writing the song and I was sitting down at the piano and I was like, okay, what is this story? I want it to be, I want to write a country album. I want to have very specific storytelling in this album. And then I was just playing on the piano. And then I wrote the first verse. I was like, okay, so we know our main guy steps into a bar, calluses on his hands, a gun in his back pocket. Okay, good. We have that down. Now let's write a chorus. We have a catchy chorus. We have your plan. So you're making a plan to get this man. That rhymes. Oh my god. So you're making a plan to get this man. What is this plan? Second verse. Bam. Back to chorus. Third verse. Bam. Back to chorus. Okay? Basically, the song was about her telling her friend that was drinking at the bar a little bit too much about this man that she wanted to get and how she was gonna get him, and then how she was gonna lock him down, and all of this. And basically, like, I was like, this first verse, I really like this first verse, and I really like the fact that she's at a bar, she's telling her friend what she wants to do to get this man. And then this man walks up to her. I really liked that. And so I was like, this would be a kind of cool book. So I opened up a new doc on my computer, just started typing away. It wasn't good. Hate to break it to you, Addie, wasn't good. It's not going to be good whenever I first start writing. No. Okay? Wrote down as much as I could until I felt like, oh my god, my writing is sucky right